In a small town, there lived a boy named Ethan. He was 10 years old, known throughout the neighborhood for his mischief and laughter. He used to go out to play with his friends every evening. He'd ride his bike, climb trees, and count stars in the sky. On weekends, he'd play baseball with his dad. And at night, he'd sit with his mom and listen to stories. His room was always full of books, toys, and drawings. Then one day, on his birthday, he got a brand new phone. At first, he'd just play games or watch cartoons for a little while. But slowly, without him even realizing it, that little while kept growing. Now Ethan reached for his phone the moment he woke up. He'd start staring at the screen while still rubbing his eyes. The moment he got home from school, he'd toss his backpack aside and sit in front of the TV. Even while eating, his eyes stayed glued to the screen. His mom kept reminding him to stop, but he'd ignore her. Slowly, he stopped going outside, stopped seeing his friends. He even stopped talking to his parents as much. His bike sat gathering dust in the corner. The pages of his drawing book stayed empty. His friends would still come by every evening to call him out. But Ethan would always say, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." And those 5 minutes never seemed to end. Slowly, his friends stopped coming by as much. One night, after using his phone for hours, Ethan felt a strange burning in his eyes. At first, he thought it was just sleepiness, so he rubbed his eyes. But the burning only got worse. It felt like someone was pouring hot sand into his eyes. His head began to throb, and his heart started racing. Everything in front of him began to blur, as if someone had draped a sheet of fog over his vision. Terrified, he ran to his mom, tears in his eyes. "Mom, my eyes are burning so bad, and my head really hurts. I can't see anything clearly." His mom hugged him anxiously, then carefully looked at his red, swollen eyes. After thinking for a moment, she said softly, "Sweetheart, it's not just your eyes talking. This is the screen monster. It sneaks up on any kid who stares at screens for too long." Ethan asked, shocked and scared. "The screen monster? Who is that, Mom?" His mom sat him down beside her and began telling an old story. A long time ago, there was a monster who lived in the dark, invisible to everyone. He'd come to any child who stared at a bright screen for too long. At first, the child wouldn't even realize the monster had arrived. He'd quietly slip into the child's eyes, slowly stealing their sleep. He'd make their head feel heavy and steal the sparkle from their eyes. The longer the child watched, the stronger the monster grew, and the weaker the child became. Ethan's throat went dry. "So what do I do now, Mom? Is that monster inside me now?" His mom smiled, but worry was clear in her eyes. "There's only one way to defeat the monster: starve him. The less screen time, the weaker he gets. But you'll have to do this yourself, sweetheart." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep properly. His eyes kept burning, and he tossed and turned. In the middle of the night, he had a strange dream. A hazy dark shadow hovering near his eyes, as if waiting for Ethan to pick up his phone again. The shadow showed no face and made no sound. It just stood there silently, slowly creeping closer. Ethan woke up startled, drenched in sweat. The room was dark, nothing was there, but the fear still lingered in his heart. The next morning, his parents took him to the doctor. The doctor examined his eyes carefully, checking with a few machines. Then seriously he said, "Son, your eyes are under a lot of strain. Staring at screens too long dries out your eyes and reduces how often you blink, which causes burning and dryness. Headaches, blurry vision, trouble sleeping, all of this is because of that. If this continues, your eyesight could get weaker, and you might even need glasses." Ethan realized the doctor's words and his mom's story were both telling the same truth, just in different ways. The screen monster wasn't some magical thing. It was actually his own habit, slowly, quietly harming him from the inside. On the way home, Ethan stayed quiet, staring out the window. He saw his friends playing in the park, laughing and running. And he remembered the last time he'd played with them. He remembered his old bike and his half-finished drawing book. From that day on, Ethan decided to make a change. He asked his dad for help, and together they made a schedule. Only a little screen time each day, resting his eyes every hour. and spending the rest of the time playing outside, reading books, and being with family. The first week was really hard. Whenever Ethan felt the urge to grab his phone, he'd get restless. His fingers would instinctively search for it. But every time he wavered, he'd remember the burning in his eyes and that dark shadow. And he'd stop himself. Slowly, the days passed. The burning in his eyes eased, his headaches disappeared, and he started sleeping deeply again. His mom noticed his face glowing again, the old sparkle back in his eyes. One evening, as Ethan rode his bike with his friends in the park, laughing, running, sweaty but full of joy, he realized true happiness wasn't inside a screen, it was out in the real world. He started climbing trees with his friends again, counting stars, and listening to stories with his mom every evening.